The upstairs guest room still has plastic on the mattress I bought in 2006, and it crackles when I press my hand on it. The light switch beside that door is yellow now, but I don't think Gregory or Cheryl ever flipped it once. My name is Harold. I'm 78 years old, and this house is quiet enough now that I can hear the furnace click before it starts. I built this place for my children. That's what I told everyone. I said it to the banker, to the lumberyard man, to Joan when she asked why I was out there again after supper. I said it so many times it sounded true. 4 bedrooms, 2-car garage, a basement I was going to finish, a wide porch out front, big enough for everybody to sit together, when Gregory and Cheryl had families of their own. Only they never did. Not here. Gregory was 9 when I bought the first stack of boards for the back room. He stood in the garage, holding my tape measure like it was something important. He asked, "Can I help, Dad?" I said, "Not today, buddy." I remember that, because I was proud of the answer, and ashamed of it too. Proud because I thought I was doing something serious. Ashamed because I can still see his hand, letting go of that tape measure. That was in 1988, June 12th. I know the date because I wrote it with a pencil on the inside of the laundry room wall before I covered it. I don't know why I remember that date better than Gregory's first home run. That's the part I still don't like saying. The house came together slowly. First the kitchen floor, then the hallway trim, then the basement stairs, one tread at a time. Every Saturday, I had a reason not to go somewhere. Gregory had baseball. Cheryl had little school things in the cafeteria, drawings taped to walls, songs with kids standing crooked on risers. I always meant to go. I really did. But there was always wet paint somewhere. There was always a door frame that needed sanding. There was always one more thing. When Cheryl was 14, she left a cardboard folder on my workbench in the garage. It had paint smudges on the corners. I thought it was scrap paper and moved it under a box of nails. 3 weeks later, Joan told me it was her art project. Cheryl had brought it home because she wanted me to see it. I went looking for it that night and found the folder bent near the pegboard with a footprint on the back. I didn't tell Cheryl. I just stood there under that bare garage bulb, holding it like a fool. By then, she had stopped showing me things. Here's the thing that sounds strange. Gregory and Cheryl didn't hate the house. They liked it at first. That's the detail people don't expect. When the drywall went up in the family room, Gregory wrote his name in the dust with his finger. Cheryl picked the blue color for the upstairs bathroom. They wanted to be in it. I was the one who kept saying, "Later. Later, when the trim is done. Later, when the deck is safe. Later, when the basement is finished." Later became the only room we lived in. One Sunday in 1996, the answering machine blinked on the little table in the hallway. I was installing crown molding in the front room, and I had white dust on my shirt. It was Cheryl's voice. "Dad, can you call me back?" That was all. I looked at the phone. Then, I looked at the corner I was working on. I told myself I'd call after I got the piece to fit. I didn't call that night. By the time I did, 3 days later, she said it was nothing. It wasn't nothing. I know that now, because no daughter calls her father in that voice for nothing. The house kept getting nicer. That's the ugly part. Every year it looked better, and every year it held less of them. Gregory stopped calling on Sundays when he went to college. Cheryl came home for Thanksgiving and slept with her suitcase still packed beside the bedroom door. At Gregory's wedding, I left early because rain was coming, and I had tools out by the back deck. At Cheryl's wedding, I kept checking my watch because the upstairs railing had been delivered that morning. Nobody yelled at me. That would have been easier. They just learned where I was, out in the garage, down in the basement, on a ladder, behind a door I was fixing. One afternoon, Mr. Kellerman from next door stopped by while I was sealing the porch boards. He watched me work for a minute, then said, "Your boy used to wait right there." He pointed to the bottom porch step. I said, "For what?" Mr. Kellerman looked at me funny. "For you." I laughed a little because I didn't know what else to do. Then he went back home, and I kept brushing stain over the boards like he hadn't said anything. But that step changed after that. I couldn't look at it the same. Years went by. Gregory had 2 boys. Cheryl had a daughter. They came once when the oldest was little, and once when Joan was sick. I had made the guest room ready by then. New mattress, clean curtains, extra blankets folded in the closet. I even put little night lights in the hallway so the grandchildren wouldn't be scared. Gregory's boys slept in a hotel. Cheryl said her daughter had allergies. I nodded like I understood. After they left, I found a small envelope in the guest room drawer. It was a Christmas card Cheryl must have brought and forgotten to give me. On the front was a picture of her daughter in red pajamas. Inside, Cheryl had written, "Maybe this year will stay longer." She never gave it to me. I sat on the guest bed, and the plastic under the sheet made that cheap crackling sound. That sound has stayed with me more than some funerals. When Joan passed, Gregory and Cheryl came for the service. They stood in the front hallway, with coats over their arms, both looking tired and older than I expected. I wanted to ask them to stay. I wanted to show Gregory the basement shelves I built for his old baseball cards. I wanted to show Cheryl the upstairs bathroom, still painted the blue she picked, but the words felt strange in my mouth. So I said, "Drive safe." They left the next morning. The real turning point wasn't at the funeral. It happened 6 months later in the basement. I was fixing the bottom step, the same one I never finished right. My knee hurt, and I dropped the hammer. It slid under the workbench, back where dust gathers. When I reached for it, my fingers touched something flat. It was an old photograph. Gregory was maybe 10. Cheryl was 7. They were sitting on a pile of lumber in the backyard, both of them wearing paper crowns made from newspaper. I was in the background, turned away holding a saw. I didn't remember anyone taking that picture. On the back, in Joan's handwriting, it said, "They waited all afternoon. I stayed down there, on that concrete floor, for a long time. Not crying, not talking, just sitting beside that unfinished step with the hammer near my shoe." That was when I saw it plain. The house had not been waiting for Gregory and Cheryl. I had made Gregory and Cheryl wait for the house. Every wall had a little piece of time inside it. The hallway trim had Saturdays. The porch had ball games. The guest room had phone calls I didn't return. The basement had afternoons where Gregory wanted to be near me, and I sent him away without meaning to. I thought this house was how I showed love. Maybe some of it was. But love you keep building for letter can leave people standing outside. You can build 100 rooms and still not be in any of them. Now I walk through here at night and touch things like they can answer me. The banister, the laundry room wall, the bedroom door Cheryl used to close softly, the porch step where Gregory used to wait. The guest room is still ready. Plastic mattress, clean curtains, quiet light switch. Nobody comes to sleep in the room I saved for them. Thank you for staying with me until the end. This is Before It's Late, where old folks like me tell the kind of regrets we wish somebody had warned us about sooner. Subscribe and turn on the little bell so the next story finds you in time. Tell me in the comments, what room in your house needs someone in it again?